So it looks like they're kind of back and forth on the fights. What does that composition say?
So that's mid Nocturne actually.
I mean, it's just going to be a lot of early action, and then we're going to see probably Pain Gaming take the fights later on.
Well, we see that in the middle, just back and forth damage coming out from Kami and Takeshi in those middle lanes. And really interested to see how BRTT does. Obviously, what's called BTT back in his Counter-Strike days always was a top level player. And as I think Paul touched on, that Counter-Strike was a famous esport here in Brazil. They had such great teams, and I was talking to some of the players outside about that, and they said, yeah, now that we're starting to get these international tournaments coming to Brazil, we hope that these big organizations like Made in Brazil, which was pretty much all privately funded, start to make their way into League of Legends as well. So you never know, these teams could be playing for a spot on one of those big name esports organizations.
Yeah, very true. And they're playing for the pride of Brazil here. I mean, they're playing against teams from Europe, they're playing against teams from Korea with LGIM. You know, they want to make themselves known in the world scene finally, and this is their chance to do it. Also, the top lane, we do have a pink ward on Shen. He put it down, wasn't in the right spot, but he's trying to create an opportunity for his Nocturne, who's currently just sitting in that jungle, been towards the top side of the map, actually for a good portion so far, really trying to create some sort of early advantage, because then that allows Shen to just snowball his lane and obviously ult around and save the rest of his team if they want to go for any really tough dives.
So we have a Mumu down in this bottom lane, but as you can see there, ward in the tri-bush, no real problems for him in that one. Shen again in his top lane, taking good damage from T2. No real surprise, he's leveling in towards that W first of all. I'll be giving him a bit of a hard time. But like you say, once he gets up towards that giant spell, which he'll most certainly do in my opinion, could be bad, oh, I say bad times, but probably won't make really much of an impact up there.
Yeah, very true. And Joe, if you notice, we see no Crystalline Flask because this was after it was changed, so it's increased cost, but does give you a little bit more mana and health, but still not as, you know, not the type of item you actually want to start with anymore. Just to get that really good sustain. So we're seeing so many health costs just stacked up. I mean, Katarina even has 9 for herself to just hold up in that top lane and just, you know, get that early game farm that we need to see. But Joe, I mean, in terms of what do you think is going to happen in terms of action? Like, where do you think the first blood's actually going to come down?
Well, it's hard to say. It's got to be these junglers getting involved at level 6, because right now we're seeing that these lanes are pretty much evenly matched. If you look down the CS, bottom lane 38 to 39, middle lane 22 to 33. Yes, Rumble having a better time in that one. He's going to be going back. Wukong already came back into his lane with ward, boots, and the longsword there. In the top lane, 32 to 32. So overall, a very even matchup so far, and it's going to have to be about these junglers getting involved. Specifically, I'd say at level 6, this Amumu. If they can tie that in with the teleport of Kami on Wukong, that's where it's going to become really dangerous.
Yeah, actually just coming in right now to the bot lane. We might have that teleport actually happen. Ward does go down.
Let's see. We are going to see them pushing in towards Alox, who's going very low. Forced to use the flash away there. BRTT putting the damage down, but not quite enough. The teleport not happening there from Kami. They didn't stick that pink ward in the brush in anticipation.
The thing is, though, I don't think they noticed that pink ward went down. So when they push up again, which they've been doing this entire game, you might see Wukong actually come down, teleport right onto Sona, who doesn't have that flash anymore, as Wukong is now level 6, can easily get first blood down there.
Yep, let's see if that all goes down. I mean, if I look at the gold, bang even right now, still no. First blood coming in. It's first game of the tournament after all. That's where, as they said on the analysis desk, that this is probably the game that if one of these Brazilian teams is to go through, then this is the game that's going to decide that one. Yeah,
very true. I mean, not to mention you're up against Millennium and Mitra Bakers as well in the group. Going to have a really tough time there because they're very good teams. I mean, they both, unfortunately, didn't make it into Season 3, but still easily a top team in Europe.
So, move further in towards this farming right now. Rumble did come back with the health crystal plus an amplifying tome as well. Himself that bit of AP. Amumu is going back, and Amumu is still level 5, not quite up to that level 6, where obviously he's going to become so much more effective when he gets into those lanes.
Yeah, very true. Nocturne, though, as well. Almost at level 6, probably will be able to get off this blue, and not to mention with the Rumble on the mid lane, he can secure this blue every single time. And that means his ult's going to have such a short cooldown, they can constantly be using them, especially if they try to drag out that laning phase to just get some sort of advantage early on. Because they have a really good team, but not as strong in team fighting as Pain does. They do have a really nice disengage, a really nice engage if they want to, but if they can drag out that laning phase and then get as many kills as possible and really set behind anyone on Pain, they should look pretty good throughout the rest of the game.
So Caitlyn coming back into this lane with the BF sword. Going to be a nice spike of damage when he does get there. Nocturne was actually just sniffing around here by that tri-bush, but even if it had come through the lane, there was still that pink ward here that Nex have not seen. They've not figured out that that pink ward was there. They didn't see it when it went down. And actually, Sona has nothing to really counter that with anyway.
Kami's actually starting to back up a little bit. Get the storm in a tower. He might actually just drop back. and wait for the teleport in. You don't really need a Mumu for this, but in the meantime, no. Nex going to back out and actually go by themselves. Misfortune sitting on 2,000 gold, Joe. That is an insane amount of money to sit on. He could actually go for that BF sword if he wants to. Not sure if he's going to commit to that, or maybe go boots, maybe a Vamp Scepter early on, get the extra sustain in lane. But the thing I'm really curious about is he going to go for the Black Cleaver Bloodthirster build? I mean, he doesn't really have an amazing team to set up his ultimate, but he does have the nice crescendo and slow. Yeah, that crescendo is going to be crucial for them in these fights. Obviously, with the Boomer in there, then you've got Wukong, Katarina, 3 big ultimates that are going to come in. I mean, that's without, Nunu, okay, Absolute Zero is not going to do a massive amount, but piled on top of everything else could mean the difference between winning a fight and actually losing it in the end. Yeah, very true. First blood should be coming up here very shortly. We do see a Mumu right there. Actually, just under your screen a little bit, waiting by that Wraith Camp to actually engage with the Banish Toss over the wall. Wasn't backing out as he is going to actually commit to it. Is spotted by a ward, so obviously Tixi is actually just going to play a little passive. And still, I mean, the teleports, Joe, we talk about, time and time again, how crucial it is to have. We've seen it kind of develop into the meta where all mids will run that teleport to get around the map, create advantages, but we haven't seen it used yet. We are 9.5 minutes in. It's relatively late to actually finally use your first teleport, and I'm kind of worried that's going to be a wasted summoner for him. Yeah, but the thing is, if he does manage to get it in there and then get a kill, that's when it really the game really starts. Yeah, the pink ward finally coming down from Alox. That's going to give them full vision of this top bush, and you can see that Nocturne is already waiting just to the top side of them to get through this lane once Nex have pushed it out. He does have that red buff right now, Joe. We do have Cleanse currently on BRTT though, so he easily could escape, especially with that 90 caliber net. But still, I mean, pretty much a passive game, I have to say, Joe. During the LCS, we saw First Bloods happen relatively early, even with what was at stake there. But both teams, like you were saying before, I mean, if they lose this, most likely going to be out of the tournament. Yeah, I'd say so. With Millennium and MYM in there, I can't see these two European teams, which, like you said, didn't qualify for Season 3, but they're certainly up there in terms of power when it comes to the European scene. Yeah, we've just seen there the damage that Misfortune can put down with that BF sword. BRTT falls back, and you just don't have the sustain in that lane that you do with a Sona when you've got the Nunu. Yeah, that's the downside to running these really aggressive lanes that we've been seeing lately with, the Lulus, the Nunus, especially Zyra as well. So, I mean, Misfortune going to have, or at least she's going to be able to farm up against Caitlyn, which is the really tough thing since she has no escape. She doesn't have insane amount of range, but we'll see if that can actually carry over into the late game. Let's have a look again then down the CS. Katarina in this top lane with Titu. Got that giant spell in there. Shen also got the same, but Titu doing a good job in terms of the farm here. 84 to 71 there. Middle lane Rumble still got roughly a 10 CS lead for the red team. Got that Haunting guys in there. Wukong going straight in for the Brutalizer as they are just butting heads here in this middle lane. There's the decoy coming out. Moon was actually coming in. There's the ultimate coming out. This could be First Blood. Curse of the Sad Mummy comes out. Ultimate comes out. Oh my god, he's managed to pick it up. He goes down afterwards. But Irelia and Danagon are both there. And Surti will die. What an amazing turnaround there from Rumble. I didn't even see that Shen ultimate come out on top of him. The shield was pretty much killed instantaneously, but still picking up that kill, getting that First Blood, and now they're going to get a Dragon on the top of that, Joe. Such a great play out of Nex Impetus. So, Dragon down to half HP already. Let's see if they can come in. Nope, bottom lane. Off-Pain decides, let's not bother with that one. But just when it looked like Rumble was going down there, yeah. Shen ultimate coming in perfectly timed. That shield just about enough to keep him alive in long enough to pick up that First Blood. And not only now does he have that CS lead, he picked up that First Blood in there, getting assist on the second kill, and actually he's just picked up a giant spell on his return home. And the thing was, Cammy did such an amazing job of baiting him in, because he had the decoy to pretty much stop any sort of kind of slow that Rumble can dish out on him, and turn around with the knock-up, setting the Moon ult, which honestly didn't seem like it needed to be used right away. Maybe a bandage toss, and then the Moon ult coming around after that, but still, so well played. And still, the downside to that, though, on the downside to that, though, in the top lane, what can Katarina do against Shen to stop him? Absolutely nothing. And as you see right now, the turret did get very low, was able to get the turret off for that, luckily. Yeah. But now Katarina's going to be able to roam around a little bit, has that Warmox finally completed, has boots, and we should see him, push lane out as quick as possible, roam around, try to get some kills, and really start snowballing on Cat, which, that reset mechanic is so deadly. And I was talking to you before when we're seeing the picks and bans, Joe, where's the Kha'Zix? I mean, wasn't banned, wasn't picked. And he was the most picked and banned, or not the most, second most picked and banned champion during the Season 3 LCS qualifiers. Yeah, it was a very strong pick. Olaf was another one of them. He was number one, 100% picked or banned during that. So, yeah, I'm guessing that that's going to come out later on. Obviously, every single team has their own kind of favorites. Yeah. And you kind of expect that they go for that whole, what the community would probably call OP coming into the games. But still,
if they've been practicing a strategy, these two teams know how each other play, you know. The two of the top teams in Brazil, they certainly know what they're going to be coming up against. Right now, 2-1 in kills, 700 gold lead for Nex Impetus, and it's still absolutely open to any team for this one.
Yeah, it's really anyone's game right now in Joe, this bot lane. I'm really expecting a lot of action to come down here very shortly. We do have that cleanse, like I was saying before, on BRTT, but Misfortune just puts out so much damage with that Bloodthirster on top of it and the ultimate. Going to just be hammering away at this Caitlyn as you see them both picking up those ping cords right there. But Nex Impetus does retain control of that bush, as you see right there. And this is kind of surprising me. I mean, we see Caitlyn Nunu lanes, they're all about pushing that lane as hard as possible, as quick as possible to get that turret down, maybe rotate a little bit later. But they've been playing pretty passive against this early game aggression.
Well, I think that's the whole point of it, right? So Caitlyn Nunu, attack speed through the roof, and they can push these lanes very quickly, but with Sona and Misfortune, this early game is, I guess, the real counter to that one because of the damage that you can put out there. I mean, Sona has amazing poke damage.
Yeah, she does. As you've seen time and time again with Gosu Pepper now on Gambit Gaming, formerly at Moscow 5. You do have T2 on the top lane, though. He's still being really aggressive up here. He's really trying to keep this lane push, really trying to keep Shen in this top lane, but the bot lane you're seeing MIT go in.
Yeah, we've just seen a flash coming down, but here is Danikon. There is a crescendo going over bullet time as well. MIT is actually managing to stay alive, but not for too long. Certi in trouble. Here comes Wukong. He's going to get the kill down on towards Alex and spin himself back towards that turret. BRTT at the back is still putting down the damage. Rumble coming in now. Ulti over. Flash away. Can he catch in there? Yes, they will get the kill. Can Cammy stay alive? No, he can't. There's 4 of them right on top of him. And that will be the turret coming down again. And another brilliant turnaround from Nex.
That was such an amazing play to both teams with their committing so much, pretty much every ultimate they could, even all the flashes and teleports. That was so well played. Nex Impetus, they did get the 3 kills, they did get the turret, but at what cost? In the top lane right now, you're seeing T2 is going to take that turret, and you know, overall, that's a really deadly turret to lose. Any kind of second turret you lose, especially when you haven't gotten any of the opponents, is really bad. It gives them so much control in the jungle right now in that top side, and may even force an early kind of split push or early kind of 5-man push if they want to go for the outer turret, since they're going to be defending this top lane against the inhibitor.
Well, the funny thing after all that is that that turret is going to just about stay alive, or will it? Yeah, they will. Let's say that, and it goes down to just 100 HP. But Nex now leading 5-2, 2,000 gold lead there or thereabouts, and they're going to be pushing down this middle turret. It's at half HP. Kind of surprised that they're not being a bit more aggressive on that one, and there is a pause.
Yeah, with this early kind of advantage they gave themselves, like I was saying before, against a really
as well, and almost given for free. I mean, it's not like they can really defend it 4 versus 1 there, but still a nice pick up from Nex.
During the European LCS we were casting last weekend, Joe, we saw so many times that they would get the first 2 middle turrets, and off of that, they would just ward up the enemy jungler because the support would have some sort of an advantage, being able to get all those wards down. I mean, we see the Ruby Sightstone now done for Alex, and that control it gives you is just so key, especially when you're on against a team like this, because if they catch you in the jungle, if Pain gets caught, they're not going to escape.
I'm quite interested to see that we've not seen any of the Gosu Pepper builds that we saw out of Katowice, which was like, screw the sight stones, we don't need them, just buy a ton of pink wards.
Yeah.
The entire game. And obviously Moscow 5 won that tournament.
Yeah.
The entire game. And obviously Moscow 5 won that tournament, so must have been decent for him.
Well, the thing is, he went like a Dorn shield early on, which gave him the health, it gave him the protection against any kind of burst in the bottom lane. And like you're saying, with all those pink wards, they created so many opportunities, so many dragons, end up taking that momentum and just...
back home there. On the other side, Nex also going home to spend up a little bit. We can see that Crystal Scepter now done with the Haunted guys. The Giant's Belt starting to stack up across the board. We do have 1 Warmonk's finish, and there's the Infinity Edge now on Caitlyn. So that could be a big thing when we come in towards these next moments of the game.
It's a nice bit of extra damage for her, but the problem is that Caitlyn's kind of weak mid-game. She doesn't really have the damage she needs to compete with anyone else, especially with the AoE that you see out of Misfortune. But if they keep stalling long enough, they easily should be able to win these fights. But Dragon is now back up. Nex Impetus did get the last one, and they might be able to secure the second one of the game.
Well, Certi coming around the side. Let's see what he can do about this one. Dragon already down to low HP. Here we go. Here's Certi. Goes in there. There goes Curse of the Sad Money. The crescendo does come across the side. Wukong is spinning his way through the team there. Misfortune taking a lot of damage in the mix of it as well. Katarina is right in on top of it. That's a double kill. Here come the resets. 3 kills. Can they finish off Irelia? I'm not sure. He's very, very tanky, but they're going to keep going on this one. Shen trying to run away, slowed down completely on his way through. But he's going to manage to actually survive that one. But what a result out of that one there from... So 6 members.
6 members? Did I say 6?
Yeah.
Okay, all 5 members.
Dragon is obviously on their team.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I got all 5 members locked down with that, and ended up taking the the fight, but they did lose that Dragon. And luckily for them, actually smart play by them to pretty much just forget the Shen and just go back to pushing, because they actually could have taken this military. I think personally it might be a little bit of a mistake. They could have easily taken that down and given them some sort of extra gold that they really wouldn't have gotten farming this these minion crews. But they did take away the blue, so Nocturne's not going to have that up. But they did take away the blue, so Nocturne's not going to have that up. He's not going to have the really quick cooldown on that ultimate following this one. But still, well played by Pain, showing that they're not out of this game in any way.
And that's the thing with the comp that they have there. If they can engage on their terms, the Nex aren't quite ready for it. I mean, they saw that Amumu coming around the corner. They had this ward down here in this tri-bush, so they saw him coming around there. But they weren't able to do anything. I'm not sure that they expected that the rest of the team will be so quickly on the back of him there coming in.
Yeah, that was perfectly well timed by Sir2, knowing how tanky he was to get in there, just set up the entire fight, which honestly, I mean, looking at the back of the game, probably in 10-15 minutes, it might have been the turning around point that got him the victory here.
BRTT just going to be going home once again. What's he got? 1,200 gold currently. They just end up finishing off those boots. Yep, there we go, into the Berserker Greaves. And picking up some more pots plus a dagger in that one. The gold between the two AD carries is very, very close. It's around about 90 gold, the difference between the two of them right now. After those kills coming down, the assists, the 3 assists for Miss Fortune, obviously both of them died once, but Caitlyn picking up that kill in the last one. It's Katarina, though, who really will have benefited from that last fight. We talked about Warmonk's first...
That's an understatement, yeah. Going 3-0 in that fight.
Warmonk's right at the start of it for her. Now got that Haunting Guys in there. The Sorcerer's Shoes obviously were finished on a little bit earlier on. And that will actually put her, 500 gold above what Shen was at.
And gives her that extra damage she's going to need for these fights. And it was really unfortunate because Nex just, Manoj couldn't get position to get his ultimate off because he got dove on right away. Got hit with the Mumu ultimate. Kami dived in straight for him just to lock him up. And because of that, couldn't get his full combo off, which probably would have completely changed the fight around. But still, great job of them to actually keep him controlled. And kind of one of those things that maybe a cleanse would have benefited Misfortune. Maybe he needs to go for a QSS now to prevent that Mumu ulti from landing, or maybe just get a better position in these team fights. I love that backing graphic, or that, and on the minimap, the backing of Nocturne right now looks so much better. It's so nice.
So, what is the next step here for either of these two teams? It's a 500 gold difference, 2-2 in turrets. Really, really close stuff, and that's what we're expecting from this one. First game of the tournament. Teams actually warmed up here earlier on today in the backstage area, so after the community ARAM games earlier on, they actually moved up to the stage, so they should have been warm enough coming into this one. Actually, MYM and Millennium are still practicing here. They're actually sat like across,
right in front of us.
Not across from each other, but like left to right on the same row. So we'll see if there's a bit of spying going on there, see what everyone's playing. But after last week at LCS, these two teams certainly know what each other are capable of. Pain and Nex Impetus, I'd say they're on a similar footing. Two top Brazil teams that play each other often.
Yeah, and they want to prove that they're, not just a good Brazilian team. They want to prove they're a good team overall in the world. And Joe, you mentioned what's the next step out of Pain, or actually the next step for both teams here. And we might actually start seeing some tower action happening, maybe some grouping, because we still have this bottom turret currently up for grabs. A 300 gold advantage for Nex Impetus, which, 22 minutes in with 2 dragons taken, that's not a lot of gold for them to be up at the moment.
It's pretty much none.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Still a very much wide open game. Kami here pushing this bottom lane out. Actually, the only outer turret that remains currently on the side of Nex Impetus, and he's not going to be following that one up through. So a bit of a quiet period now as both teams say, okay, we need to catch back up with that farm, keep going on that one. As I say that, we can see that Pain do have 4 men starting to push this bottom lane out. Not sure that they're going to be able to, no, they won't be able to react to that one fast enough. The turret was already severely damaged, and that will be taken off, and that will give Pain the turret lead.
I believe actually gives them the first advantage of the game, first gold lead of the game for them. And yeah, you had a good point still saying that, both teams kind of playing a little passive, kind of seeing what happened after that last team fight. But Pain, after realizing they won that team fight, they know if they get one more great team fight in their favor, they should be able to take that and win the game, because it'll put Nex Impetus so far behind that they can't really pick them off one by one, which is the advantage that Nex Impetus created for themselves, but kind of didn't capitalize on.
And we can see here Shen in the top lane is Shenning.
Doing as a Shen does, yeah. split pushing.
Pushing that one straight through. Obviously, does have Stan United
Oh, that's
available,
an
so
engage
he's going to come out. Let's see if this one goes down. Turret already being hammered away. Paint going to try and get in on this fight. Actually, Nexy pushing that wave back, and that for now at least will be no fight. But the turret, you can see, almost at half HP. They may look to capitalize on it with this wave if they get in there. Shen's got to be quick on the reaction. He's obviously probably just got one finger hovering over his R right now, getting ready for that. You can see he's doing a great job in that top lane of pushing the turret down, but the wave clearing ability here for Nex is actually really, really good. Well, let's see if they can hold on to that turret. There is the turret going down for Irelia in the top lane. Takeshi goes in. Nocturne is going to dive in as well. This fight is all going to kick off. The ultimate's coming left, right, and center. Wukong here having to spin around the side. Crescendo comes in quite late. Caitlyn ultimate comes across. It's only a 1-for-0 right now, but they're having to flash away. Nex are still fairly healthy in this one. T2 going to get feared back in towards the next team, but can they follow this one up? Pain have 3 men that are very, very low. Denegon is taking a lot of damage, though, has to back away. The bandage toss missing. Here comes Irelia around the side. Takeshi focused on, though. He will finally go down. BRTT is going to try and escape from Irelia, who in the end just gives up on that one. And now it's Mitt who has to try and run from 4 of them. And in the end, Nex say, you know what? We've done the job. Let's take the dragon.
That was such a great play out of Alex right now. Sona, he was in the backside of that fight, but he got focused down really quickly by Mumu, by Katarina, by Wukong, but was able to survive just long enough because of that Ruby Crystal and the Ruby Sightstone to not give Katarina that reset. If she got that reset, that fight would have completely went in Pain's favor. But lucky for her, had enough health to survive that. And that's that's something Nex Impetus needed. It showed them that, hey, we can still catch them off guard. I mean, we had Shen actually ult upon Nocturne, who went into the back line against BRTT. Even though BRTT escaped from it, the rest of his team was able to, with the advantage they had, pretty much push back that Wukong, push back that Mumu, push back that Katarina.
Push back. Sorry.
All good.
Thought I was expecting that one as well. But if we look now at the big picture of this one, 9-7, again, that gold lead swinging over towards Nex Impetus, 37.3 to 34.7, 3-3 on turrets. Those dragons still coming in for Nex, so now, starting to get to that point of the game where Pain have to win another team fight.
And we need to see Cammy actually get that Black Cleaver, because on his ultimate it applies the stacks from that. So he gets that stack up pretty much instantly over for Caitlyn, who's going to need that damage. Not so much a Katarina, who does, decent amount of damage on auto attacks, especially when you proc it with her Q. But you need that item. I mean, that would completely set up that fight, and it's just those little things that actually might turn these fights around and give Pain the advantage again.
See there, Surti headed towards this bottom lane, but look at the entire Nex team actually. Gonna have to react to this one because they could lose that inner turret finally. Obviously didn't go down in that last fight. We can see that they just cannot react to that one fast enough. They were up on that top side of the map by the Baron, and now we see Pain looking for the first Nexus turret, inhibitor turret of the game, as Denorgan is going to come in there. There comes a bullet time across. Surti is absolutely destroyed. This is not looking good for Pain. They've lost 3 men already. BRTT is going to get feared up. Oh, and it sends him right back into the team. That's a triple kill for Nocturne. Cammy has got hardly any health. Let's see what Denorgan can actually pick up from this one. Oh, what? Delivered to my desk, so apologies for not catching the last bits of that, but the important thing was seeing this Baron being done now by Nex
teleport top lane, Joe.
Teleport top lane, yeah, but to be honest, can Cammy actually do anything about this one? I mean, is they going to lose out on the Baron? Is he going to have the damage to be taking down everything that they need to here? Actually, Rumble is coming back. The turret will go down. Cammy going further in for this one. Here comes Takeshi with the home guard boots on. He's going to keep hammering away from that one. Yeah, they have managed to steal the Baron as well, but how much is that going to impact on this one? Back up at the top here. Cammy is going very, very low. He is going to die, but he's managed to take out the inhibitor at the same time.
What a play out of Pain Gaming. They distracted them, sending that Wukong top, brought Rumble back, really brought that DPS down, and then Mumu just came in with that band trust, got the smite, took that completely away from Nex Impetus, and they came out so far ahead of that. They got the Baron, they got the inhibitor turret, and they got the inhib off of that, Joe.
Amazing play. I mean, that could be the moment that turns this game around, but Jason, what do they have to do after that? I mean, yeah, they've stolen Baron, they've taken down inhibitor, but generally these team fights have been going Nex's way.
Well, what they can do right now, Wukong's teleport is down, so that is a big factor. But what they can do is push that bot lane and not really even try to get the turret. They can just siege away, just try to play really passive just to protect their own team, let that top lane push, and when then we see Nex actually send someone up to that top lane to stop them from killing Nex's turrets, they can get in, get that turret down, especially with that Caitlyn Nunu combo, and then take another inhibitor turret off of that. Or on the other side, they could play passive, they could play really defensive and just take that and use it to their advantage later on, just kind of farm back up, get the gold lead back in their own favor, and get the key items they're going to need.
Well, let's have a look at the gold between each player. Katarina is ahead of Shen there in the jungle. Nocturne way ahead of Amumu, almost 2,000 gold. In the middle lane, we have 8.7 to 9.3 in favor of Rumble. The AD carries already over 10k now is Caitlyn at 10,337 to the 9,327 of Misfortune. So overall, this game certainly is not decided by a long stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, definitely. That entire fight, that great decision making out of Cammy to go towards that top side, and then the amazing steal out of Surti just completely turned the game around. And that's what makes the team great. It's just those split-second decisions to know what you're going to do. For instance, you know, Fnatic versus SK until Shimazu Katowice, expect it coming back in for that next to try to finish off the game. Those are things that win you the games, and those are the things that make you really well known in the scene.
Well, they've still got a long way to go. Bit of a road to victory still here for Pain, but we can see they're starting to stack up on this bottom lane.
Yeah, they're going to let that top lane push out, let Shen kind of be the one to defend against it. Obviously can, you know, ulti in, but they do have the ability to just hammer away at that turret. All they need to do is really dodge that crescendo and dodge that ultimate out of Rumble, and if they do that, they should easily be able to disengage.
So here we go then. Pain starting to put down some damage on towards his turret. Here comes the Nocturne though, and he's gone straight in on towards Caitlyn. Curse of the Sad Mummy goes down. Is BRTT going to get away? He actually will turn it around. Nocturne has to flash away. Cammy going to be going low from this one. He will actually die, and that is a 2 for 0 in favor of Nex. They're just going to back straight off, but good fight.
That was a really unfortunate fight for Pain. I mean, we saw Nex Impetus. Nocturne actually dove into the back on the Caitlyn, as you're seeing. The fear, you know, locked her down. The Muma ultimate was actually used on Nocturne and Nocturne only. And then you had Katarina, you have Wukong in the backside, attacking 4 members of Nex Impetus. They don't have the damage or the taking to survive against that, and they end up losing that entire fight. And might have lost that slim advantage that they got. But in the meantime, going to try to take down this turret. And have to be a little careful here because they can't afford to lose anyone else.
Yeah, Pain not done there. They are actually doing good amounts of damage, down to just 600 HP. That is obviously the last turret available outside of the base for Nex. Question is now, what are Pain going to go for? Dragon is up for the taking, and they will be getting this one for free. They're not going to be coming down onto it.
Yep, well, we do see a Warmog actually completed now for Manaj on Misfortune, if she wasn't already taking enough. I mean, she hasn't even been really pressured at all in these fights. I mean, the one fight at Dragon where she did get locked down and had bad positioning, that was the fight she's really died in. Actually, the only fight she died in, period. But now they don't have the ability to actually get to her, and if they do, they have that Shen, they have that Stone to protect her. I mean, it's a good item to have, not necessarily necessary at this point, but so it's really going to carry on as the game does progress.
We have Shirelia's now picked up in these 2 supports. If we look down the boots as well, it's always interesting to see when we get towards this late game, because it can make a big difference when you're trying to defend your base, when you have to run in there. We've got Home Guard on 2 men, actually, for Nex Impetus. On the other side, Home Guard on 3 men. Actually 2, because I can't count.
I was looking, I was like, wait a minute. But yeah, they do have Home Guard on the champions with boots abilities, so if they ever do back to base, easy to be able to rush back out there. We do have a Thornmail completed on Shen, which, I mean, I was talking to Jat during the LCS, and he was saying that item only got better after the Season 3 patch. I mean, they nerfed a lot of other items and stats, but that item didn't change at all, which means it got better overall. So that item's going to be helping quite a bit, especially against how much AED that currently Pain has. Katarina, the only one to really do that magic damage, besides Amumu, who obviously doesn't do too much, but doesn't really have the items Katarina needs to do, or to really be a threat at this point.
So here we go then, Pain moving their way, and here comes Nocturne. He's going to go straight on towards Katarina once again. BRTT gets feared into them. There's the crescendo. The bullet time came across. This is a massacre. Titsu going to go down here as well. Where is Cammy? He's in the middle like, hey guys, how did that happen? I'm all full health here. I was trying to push you down. Well, a 4 for nothing. And when I say 4 for nothing, I mean 4 kills for 0 health taken away from Nex.
And that was the exact same fight we just saw happen last time, Joe. I'm really curious why they decided to do that. They got engaged upon, they blew the Muma ultimate on Nocturne again, and Nocturne only. We had the back line, we had Misfortune, we had Sona, we had Rumble just attacking away, doing all the damage they can. I mean, you can't do that. You cannot have the exact same fight happen twice especially when you lose 4 members each time.
Oh, up in his top lane. Cammy was actually doing the same stuff. Actually, he's going to be teleporting away from this one. Let's see what he can do, and he's straight back into that base. So Nex Impetus from that one managed to get themselves an inner turret here taken down. What will that be enough? Oh, I mean, if they keep doing that time and time again, then sure, it's got to be enough at some point.
Yeah, now they can easily afford to be aggressive. They can easily start pushing here. We do see, actually, Roda's Death Cap almost completed now for Rumble, which goes into enough damage already. It's just going to be that much more effective. They easily could engage on these turrets because they have the ability, like I was saying the entire time, is to zone them with the Rumble Equalizer, with the Crescendo out of Sona if they want to engage. They should easily be able to push up. Pain just doesn't. They don't really have the damage. I mean, Caitlyn's on dying every time in the back, or at least being pressured, and without her attacking, with just that Wukong, just like Katarina, there's just no way they're going to kill anyone.
Well, next interesting point is going to be the Baron, which of course was last time stolen away by Pain. You have to feel that if they end up not being able to take it this time, that could be GG right there.
Even if they do, I mean, they had that fight with 3 Baron members and still lost 4, so even with that Baron, even with that extra gold, I don't think it really is going to matter too much for them.
See the ping's already being put down. Baron already going to be started off here by Sir T. No teleport this time for Wukong. Let's see how they go about it. Actually decide to peel off from that one. Don't feel like fighting. I mean, there's no real surprise in that one that they don't want to fight that. And they are going to keep going. BRTT going to take down that ward in the back of it. That's all the vision gone until Alex comes around. Sticks another one in there. And he can keep affording to do that for a little while here with that Sightstone.
We need to see Aurelia actually head towards that bot lane, push it out, or maybe push that top lane back yet again. Because he still has the ultimate up to get in if he does need to. And Pain, they're just in no position to fight whatsoever. So if we do have Nex Impetus just come around from the side, they're going to back off even without that Shen there. So that would give them a nice bit of an advantage because it would force someone from Pain to go, kind of deal with him. But they really want this Baron, Joe. As you saw on your screen right there, the Super Minions are attacking away at that Nexus turret. Pain starting up that Baron yet again, but it's not going to work.
This could end up being a big fight as we are going to see Nocturne once again dive straight in towards BRTT. Can't quite get away. Actually put the fear down on the wrong person there, but he's going to flash in towards BRTT. That could actually end up being the death of him. He's managed to kite him around. They get the kill, but they've lost 2 men in the process.
Yeah, they lost their bruisers, quote unquote, with that Katarina, who just couldn't do anything the entire fight. And actually, the Muma ultimate wasn't up that time, but still, Nocturne, did he almost solo that Caitlyn? Because I'm looking at it right now, it's a half. I'll check out the other part of the fight just to make sure. The
thing is, he actually put the fear down onto Nunu in the end of the fight there, which I'm pretty sure it didn't quite mean to do. But either way, they've still come out on top of that fight. Nocturne 7-2-9 now. We've got 5-3, 14 Rumble, 6-1, 12 Misfortune. And that's what I talked about, this whole situation that we talked of earlier on. They did lose a Nexus turret, that's worth mentioning now. Obviously, Aurelia did have to use that Stan United to help the rest of his team. In the meantime, though, without dwelling on the past, let's look towards the future, because this Baron is already being taken down to half HP. Fast. They can't do anything about this.
Yeah, such a great job by Pain to notice that all their lanes are currently pushing the top, the bottom, and the middle, and with that, they're able to take that free Baron. But Joe, the real question is, can they take this Baron and turn the game completely around?
Well, look at the gold. It's 9-4. Those turrets in favor of Pain are making a massive difference here in the gold differences. We've seen a Thornmail being picked up actually by Shen, so wanting to return some of that AD damage, obviously coming out mostly of Caitlyn and the Wukong.
The thing is, he's not even diving for the Caitlyn. He's sitting in the backside. He's protecting his own, AD carry, his own Rumble against his Wukong and Katarina. And, Kat during that last fight, T2, he popped his ultimate. They just ignored him because he did no damage whatsoever to that Rumble, no damage to that Shen. He's not even a threat for them anymore unless someone on Nex just gets low. But who's going to get low? The only real chance is Sona, who's really positioning quite well in these fights, staying back, not getting engaged upon, and saving that Crescendo for any key moments where it looks like they might potentially get that sort of advantage in the fight.
Yeah, I mean, he's got decent penetration, but he's not really putting anything through. He's got 117 AP right now, which is obviously not really helping the cause, but they've managed to get this Baron the gold. Look at it, it's less than 1,000 gold right now between these two teams.
And yet it's 23-8. It's all because of those turrets and those 2 Barons that's currently keeping Pain in the game. But I mean, even as I say that, I say it with a pinch of salt. It's just they're not able to win these team fights, and they're based around team fighting.
Well, we're going later on into this one. We're almost at 40 minutes anyway. We can see that for Caitlyn, Infinity Edge, Bloodthirster, Phantom Dancer, Last Whisper. over for the others. What do we have there for Wukong? We have the Sunfire Cape, we have the Bloodthirster, Hex Drinker, and Brutalizer. So he's going to be starting to do a lot more damage as well in that near future. The question is, I think it's really all about the engage here. If they can get in there and start the fight on their terms, which we saw one time down by that dragon from Amumu, then they could still have a good chance of this one. But as it has been, Nex Impetus have just had it all on their terms.
It's at the point where even if Pain does get the engage they want to, will it really matter to them? Because they're so beefy now. And Nex Impetus, wow, Nex, I was talking about earlier when we were starting the game, is that, you know, Brazilian teams we've kind of noticed is that they have a hard time closing the games out. And we're seeing it right here because, you know, Nex, they have the advantage clearly. And yet they're not pushing that advantage right now. They do have 2 inhibitors, you know, obviously free to be taken by Wukong if he wants to teleport in. But, you know, they can always just send someone back to defend against it. And even with that person back, they should be able to win these fights.
Well, we can see that Pain once again pushing the creep wave back at Sanagan. He's going to go in there. Got the fear down onto Surti, but the rest of his team decided, no, you know what, we're not going to go in for this one. Here we go. Curse of the Sand Mummy comes down. It manages to catch 2 of them. Bullet Time going across. Didn't do that much damage, but the auto attacks from Misfortune as Irelia comes in as well. They're going to have to flash away from this one next. Not super healthy, and look at Caitlyn at the back, hammering away at them. They've got to get her down. This Caitlyn has to be dealt with. Finally finished off. Is that going to mean the death of Pain from this one? It's 1-for-1 at the end. Minai against Mitt. He's going down slowly but surely in this fight. Alok's going to be chasing him away. Amumu did manage to survive, and Mitt will walk away as well. But that was a 3-for-3.
A 3-for-3 when Pain had Baron and they got the engage they wanted to. That kind of just tells the story of what's going to happen later on without that Baron buff. We did see Surti land that ultimate on the 2 members this time, which is the first time in 3 or 4 ultimates out of him. He hit Nocturne with it, he hit Rumble with it, but still Nocturne got away with his ultimate, went straight for Caitlyn in the backside, which luckily for her, she has the damage now. I mean, with the Infinity's Edge, the Bloodthirsters, the Pharonancer, and the Last Whisper, she easily can't take him on now with the help of Nunu. But still, if you can't lock down that Misfortune and allow Wukong and Katarina to take her out right away, you're not going to win these fights. It's just that simple.
So, I mean, what do they need to do item-wise, you know, their game plan-wise to actually come back in this one? Like you say, they've had Baron, they've got, you know, almost equal gold, they've got more turrets, they've had this inhibitor down, this second inhibitor is actually naked right now, but they can't win these fights. What do they have to do to change that?
They need that good Amumu ult and that Wukong ult to follow up. They've only had one perfect Amumu ultimate, which we saw with the Dragon, which is the fight they completely won. But they're not really working their synergy well together with those 2 champions. And if they can do that, that allows Katarina, allows Wukong, even allows Caitlyn some chance to get some sort of damage on Misfortune. And once she's dead, or even, you know, Rumble at this point, if one of those die, they will have the damage and they will have the takers to just carry out the rest of the fight. Because then you're left with the Shen, you're left with the Nocturne, who both, you know, they don't do no damage, but they don't do anywhere enough damage to take on anyone on Pain. And that's what they need to do. Land that Amumu ultimate with the Wukong ulti, and you can win these fights as long as Caitlyn is protected.
Well, Caitlyn getting that giant spell in there, wants that extra survivability, but in terms of damage, got it sorted at this point.
Yeah, I just heard there a 1500 crit on a minion.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful sound. Almost as beautiful as Jax hitting a turret.
Nothing is as beautiful as that sound. That is the #1 beautiful sound. This Nex now starting to push down this middle, but look, they're 3 men. If they end up getting caught out here, that's just another step, you know, towards Pain maybe having a comeback in this game. If you look at the gold, Pain are actually in the lead at this point now by 150 to 200 gold.
I will kind of push this teleport in.
Teleports back in there. They don't want to be losing inhibitor turrets from this one.
That was huge though. That really gives Nex the opportunity to push. I mean, because they know Wukong's teleport's down. We saw him use it that last time over towards that top inhibitor where he got the top turret and the inhibitor off of that. But now without that threat, without, you know, having those 2 inhibitors open, why not push? Why not be aggressive? Because there's nothing they can do to actually take those.
Well, let's see if they do decide to go aggressive from this one. Pain pushing their way up the middle. Nunu, Caitlyn gonna join in. Here we go. Then they could end up fighting from this one. Curse of the Sand Mummy does come down. What can they do with it though? Dragon is gonna go straight into the back once again. The ultimate's flying left and right here. As Kami gonna fall low. He will drop in the end, but this is decent damage coming out of Pain. Irelia gonna take a full load as they take out Rumble as well. Now we see Shen have that Guardian Angel pop. That is a double kill. Irelia has got no chance to survive this one, and Pain getting that fantastic initiation, are surely going to win the game right here, right now.
I swear, it feels like they're listening on that one, Joe, because that perfect initiate, you should be able to take some inhibitor turret, should be able to take the inhib off it, and they should easily be able to win with that 50-second spawn timer. Such a great drop out of Pain, as you hear the entire crowd chanting away at Pain right now.
Yeah, an amazing crowd here for what was an amazing game. That Nexus turret goes down. There's still 20 seconds, and that's before Sona comes into the game. And Pain are going to win this one with a ridiculously close match and go 1-0 in Group A of the Intel Extreme Masters here in Brazil.
What a comeback. You see the crowd on your screen right now. They're all excited. That was such a good way to start off day one of Intel Extreme Masters Brazil. You know, why not start off with a game that's that close? And, I mean, so close throughout the entire game. We saw Nex Impetus get that advantage early on, but still, they could not go up against that team fight power that Pain had, and that Caitlyn, who was just hammering away the entire fight, even ignored Shen, was straight misfortune, blew her up with the help of Katarina, and they took that game. What a first game of the day, Joe.
And you can see Nex there, they're going to be crushed from that one because these team fights will go in their way, but really we saw it at the Dragon that it shouldn't technically be like that. It shouldn't be so one-sided. I think a big part of it as well was when Caitlyn really started to get stronger with that Phantom Dancer, Infinity Edge, and the last Whisper maybe more crucially there in the end, that she was able to deal with Nocturne when he came diving in there. You had then the Nunu was able to slow him down, and between them they could just pretty much destroy him. On the other side of it though, you've got a Mumu in there to get the Curse of the Sad Mummy down. Wukong comes in there on the top. Katarina comes in at the top. Meanwhile, they've cleared up Nocturne and they're pushing in towards the rest of the team.
Yep, very well played by them. And Joe, I believe we're actually going to be sent over to the analysis